Hi everybody, welcome back. This is John Bishop at John Bishop Fine Art, and you're listening to Art Life, the podcast. Welcome back to the show. I'm glad you guys joined us today, and by us I mean me. Just me here, isn't it? Oh well. That's something that I'd love to change, but Bogdan is a little hesitant to do these kinds of broadcasts. So I've got him doing the vlog, and I think that's about as far as I'm going to get with him for a while. Oops. Make sure my camera is set. So what I wanted to talk about today is a little bit kind of an update of what's going on with the business and with us. Things have been hopping. You know how it is when you get super busy and you don't have time to even to think. That's where we are today. We have been working hard since we got back from Romania, trying to kind of refill the funnel. When you go away for a month, basically, things drop off. You're not building new business. We had a big gig with Kym Harrison. She had her opening of her month-long exhibition called Blaze, and so we helped her get some video work and some graphics ready. And she had a lovely opening, and it's a very nice show. Hopefully she sold quite a bit. I know she sold a few. So that's underway, and we'll be going until the end of the month. At that time, we are also going to be kicking off very soon two shows that we're exhibiting at the Silver Street Studios. We've got a pop-up coming up in November. We've got now a full-fledged production coming, exhibition coming in December, and that'll be up through the new year. So there's a lot of kind of planning work going on, lots of meetings, lots of things like that. So we've been running, trying to catch up, but it's just, there's no business coming in. I did have a couple stop by, and they liked one of my big pieces from my Panca Marca series. And they said, it's just too big for our house. We love the painting, but it's too big. Can you do something smaller? So I did. I did a smaller version of that, and I did a couple of them just in case. I think it always is great to give two so people have something to choose from. And if they really love them, I guess there's the chance they might buy both. So I showed them the paintings, and they did like one of them, and they bought it. But other than that, things have been pretty dead. We went through FotoFest, and FotoFest, if you don't know, is a huge deal. Where it's one of the largest photo kind of celebrations, conventions in the world. And so FotoFest is here in Houston every other year. And Bogdan participated in what they call the portfolio review. And what that means is that he is able to meet with, I think it's around 16 different portfolio reviewers from all over the world. And they comment and respond to the work that he brings to show them. I feel like you're really close. Let me move you back. Maybe it's this table is slanted. Maybe it's sneaking up on me. So Bogdan met with the reviewers, and he had some good sessions. He kind of chose all his reviewers from Europe because we are thinking of moving to Romania, and so maybe getting a better sense of what the European market is and what that looks like. So he did meet with those folks and got a lot of really good feedback on his Nature Remembered series. And so hopefully some of that might lead to some shows or at least some contacts. So that went well. And then we've just been running ever since. When we were in Romania, we missed the deadline for the other art fair, which is the big art fair. They do several of them around the country, run by Saatchi. And we missed the deadline, and we got back and nothing's selling, and we were like, my gosh, we thought October was a good month. So we contacted them and said, we missed the deadline. Is there any chance we could still get in under the wire? And they said yes. So all of a sudden, we're in this great rush to get ready for a show starting next weekend. We got the money paid, we got the bookings, got the insurance certificates and everything that we needed to get to them. and now we're going to an art fair. We went last spring to the art fair in Dallas, the other art fair in Dallas, and did quite well. So we're hoping that this might get us out of our slump that we've had for the last month or two. Of course, that means we're going to miss an event at Silver Street Studios. It also means that we're going to have to miss the big gala that John Ross Palmer has for his mentorship program, the Escapist program. We are doing a video for him for that. So it's kind of comes at a bad time, but we have to weigh out and say, this isn't our business we're running. And as much as we love the contacts and the parties and meeting other people, we really need to earn some money. And so the fair is potential for us to earn quite a bit of money all at once. So we have to take that option. So yeah, we're off to Dallas next weekend, and of course we'll take you along with. And that should be nice. Those fairs are exciting. They're a good chance to reach out to an audience who doesn't see us every day because we're not in Dallas. And the other thing that we kind of learned was that Houston doesn't have any art fairs. We used to have a big one called the Texas Contemporary Art Fair, I think it was called, and it met in Houston once a year in the big convention center downtown. It was a big event and high-end event. You have to be a gallery to get in and all those things. Well, they went away at COVID, and we kept thinking, okay, well, maybe things are getting better, maybe they'll be back this year. And they kind of announced that no, they're never coming back. So now the only art fairs in the state are in Dallas, and they have 4 a year, I think. And so we're thinking, okay, we really need to take advantage of that, and we're scratching our heads more and more saying, what does Houston offer us if we don't have a big art fair? We do have things like the Bayou City Art Festival, which happens a couple times a year, where people have booths outside, and it's a big deal, but it's not a major art fair where galleries come. So that is a bit of a challenge for us, and makes us question again why we're where we are. It also does mean that we need to take advantage of the art fairs in Dallas when they happen, because they're the only ones in the state. So that we're doing next weekend. What else is going on? We, this Saturday, I'm going to be attending one of the Zine Fests, one of the 2 Zine Fests that we have in Houston every year. And this one is called Uncle Bob's Photo Zine Market, and it's being held at the Hardy and Nance Studios. And what that means is, if you're not familiar with zines, zine is short for magazine, and it's kind of an indie publishing movement that has been going on for many years. I knew about them because of libraries, and very often they're hosted in libraries, and library support self-publishing and books and reading. And so I knew about zines for years, and we have been creating for many years as well our own zines. And largely for us that means kind of children's books. We have about 7 children's books that we just publish as zines. And zines are small publications, self-published, self-printed, and sometimes handmade. And so we have those children's books. We also have several photographic zines that are just compilations of photographs of Bogdan's photos and our travels, and also just of some art. So that big festival will be going on this Saturday from 12 to 7, I think. And I will be having a table at that festival. So that'll be exciting. Bogdan will be working the 3rd Saturday, open day at the studios. I'll be at the Zine FotoFest, and hopefully we'll make some money and make some contacts. It should be a fun day. I really enjoy these zine fairs because again, it's that kind of, I don't know how to call it, a subculture of indie publishing. There's all kinds of fascinating people there, from cartoonists to illustrators to authors to poets to kids to old people like me. It's a great, great kind of cross-section of people who are all into publishing and writing and self-expression. So I'm looking forward to that. So in addition to all of that, we just have our regular trying to run a business. We're getting into the fourth quarter. I guess we are in the fourth quarter now. And that means that we've got holiday shopping should be hopefully a boon for us. We need to get some things sold because it's been a while since we've made any significant sales. But that's the business that we're in. I mean, we do own that this business has its ups and downs. There are peaks and valleys, and right now it's a particularly low valley, but it's not unexpected. Things die off over the summer, and then as people get back into school and things, and once the holidays get closer, things tend to pick up again, if this year is like others. So fingers crossed that goes well. We are still thinking about Romania, and that has been quite a journey for us. Like I say, one of the fears I had leaving Romania was that, we had done everything we had intended to do, and then we come back and it drops off, and we get busy, and a year passes. I mean, it will go very, very quickly, and we haven't made any progress. I do have some things to report. It just so happens that Bogdan, his mother owns an apartment in a town called Câmpulun that we absolutely love in Romania, and her next door neighbor is selling her apartment. So that would mean that if we were to purchase that apartment, we could knock holes in the wall and we could have half the floor of the building, which would be like 4 bedrooms and 2 living rooms, 2 kitchens, 2 bathrooms. It could be a lovely way for us to have a place there, a place that his mom could watch. It would also allow us to be there as she gets older and help her out. It is not ideal for our business. We wouldn't have a lot of space there. We really, really wouldn't have like a gallery space. But those things are easy to rent. There are empty stores in town. We could both rent little storefronts and have studios and actually go to work every day, which is appealing to us. We could also buy the apartment in Câmpulun and then just rent something small in the capital, in Bucharest, so that when we need to plug into the larger art community and the larger, anything going on in the country happens in Bucharest, we could go there and stay. But really have our residence in Câmpulun. So we have a couple of options going on. It's still early days. She's talking about selling. We don't know what. We don't know how much. But that's an option that has come available. Another thing that I find completely hilarious is, if you'll recall, when we decided to move to Romania, one of the benefits of moving there was that they had this new scheme where if you open a business in Romania, you would only pay 3% tax on your income. That sounds lovely, and it was a great way to entice digital nomads and expats to move and open businesses in Romania and bring some business back, because everybody left the country when they became part of the European Union, and they're all working abroad. So that was great. We went there, we opened the business under that condition, and now they've announced that as of January, it's now October, as of January, instead of paying 3% tax on income, we'll be paying 16%. So that's quite a shock. Still fair, But what a joke. Now, we don't know that that's actually going to happen. That is what is being proposed. That's what they're talking about. I don't think they'll know that until December. So that was just a wrinkle I heard online on YouTube the other day. So that, the best laid plans, even at 16%, it still probably makes sense to do it. We're not going to Romania to, make millions. One of our big problems is still, we don't want to give up this market for the Romanian market. It's just much smaller. We are also still looking at the possibility of creating a foundation, some sort of nonprofit NGO, that we're really still in the just conversation stages of that, because we don't know quite how to develop that. One of the problems when you're an expat moving abroad is coming across and not really understanding what's going on locally. I don't want to go there and presume I know any better than the people there. Obviously, I don't. They have a lot of programs in place, a lot of ministries and a lot of galleries who are doing remarkable things. I don't want to get in the way of any of that. But if I could create a nonprofit, that would allow me to apply for government funding from the United States here, if we have one here as well as the European Union. So that might be another way that we could create a foundation, run the foundation, and take a salary from the nonprofit, which would give us kind of some more stability in our income as we try and reestablish ourselves abroad. So we're thinking about that. And so in the interim, we're doing, I think, the most responsible thing that a small business person can do when faced with a slump in sales, continued bills, regardless of the slump, and no real prospect, nothing really in the funnel to change that. So what we're doing is we are playing the lottery. And neither of these were winning tickets, so we're going to continue. So that would be a much easier way than running a nonprofit. Now, we don't do that very often, but we do play now and again. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. We've been doing a lot. We are excited. We are a little distracted from our goals. But I try and give time every day to think about the idea of the nonprofit so that doesn't become stale. And I try and keep Bogdan on looking at real estate, because that would be the next step for us in Romania. It's hard because he gets off topic, and then I can't do that because it's all in Romanian. And the things that are listed in English are way too expensive. They jack up the price for expats. So that kind of thing he needs to do. So I have to just kind of keep reminding him and keep pushing him and keeping him excited about that portion of the planning stage that we're going through. But other than that, we're just having fun. Hopefully you're staying creative. I'm going to leave it here so that I can get this edited. I've got a big weekend planned and a hard week next week getting ready for the art fair. So I'm going to leave it here. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you again next time. Thanks so much.